In every man's life, there comes a time where the boy must end and the man must truly begin. For a ninja, this moment comes all too soon, especially for a ninja like Shikamaru Nara. He went from nearly losing his entire team on his very first mission as a chunin, to losing his sensei in battle, to losing his father during the 4th Great Ninja War. Over time, these very harsh realities of the ninja world have shaped Shikamaru into something that we see very clearly in the Boruto era. However, there was a time right before the events of Naruto the Last where Shikamaru found himself at a crossroads where the teenage boy inside of him had reared its head once again, and he was now at odds with the man that Shikamaru knew that he was being pushed to become. In today's edition of After Naruto Shippuden, we're gonna take a look at the moment where Shikamaru stopped being a child and he put away childish things and confronted his darkest fear that he had before the events of Naruto the Last. Now, this information is given to us in the Shikamaru Hiden novel. It's in this scene that Shikamaru has come to grips with the fact that the S-Rank mission that Kakashi's given him, Shikamaru cannot ask anyone like Choji or Ino to accompany him, nor can he bring himself to have Naruto accompany him on this mission as well. Instead, using what little info Shikamaru has about the Anbu, Shikamaru has begun plotting out various scenarios on how to infiltrate the Land of Silence and how to best kill Gingo, coming up with various combinations based on whoever his teammates might end up being. It's in this scene that Shikamaru has given Kakashi a very specific list of traits that he wants for his teammates who would give him the best chance of success when it comes to his mission. It's in this moment that Shikamaru has a scene where the 13-year-old chunin who nearly lost all of his teammates suddenly pops up in the back of his head, and the crushing weight that Shikamaru feels threatens to destroy his psyche completely if he's not able to contain the emotions that are bubbling up inside of him, as well as the self-doubt. So what I'll do for you guys now is go over the highlighted passages from this novel and then come back to you guys my thoughts, and it's here I'm gonna begin quoting. Before he had even realized it, Shikamaru had ended up carrying all types of things on his back. Even though he thought anything and everything was an absolute hassle, which most of the time it actually was, he was being forced to grab onto all sorts of things in a way that was actually unlike him. This wasn't something he'd do normally. Things that were so heavy he could barely carry them on his own, but he couldn't bring himself to let them go. In fact, he couldn't let go, even if he wanted to. In truth, he was scared. Terrified actually. He had the feeling that if he threw it all away, he wouldn't be himself anymore. Would anyone need him anymore after this? Would they even want him? The thought, it frightened him so much that Shikamaru could barely stand it as he looked at Kakashi. End quote. So what I love about this moment right here is that we see Shikamaru continuing to grapple with the internal agony that he's facing when it comes to carrying out this S-Rank mission to kill Gingo as well as to save Sai. For Shikamaru, he knew that he was about to cross a line that he'd never be able to return from. He was also worried about losing the very nature of who he was as a person, but he also knew that the responsibilities that were forced onto him, like the mission itself, were things that once he took them on, he wouldn't be able to set them down. Shikamaru understood that he needed to see this mission through all the way to the end, even if it ended up costing him his humanity. All those shogi matches with Asuma and his father, with those cryptic lessons intended to teach him who the true king actually was, Shikamaru knew that his academy class was now at the point where they were no longer children who needed to be protected. They were the very first of the generation that were forced to embrace adulthood, giving up small pieces of who they were so they could lay the groundwork for the back end of their generation of ninja like Konohamaru and Hanabi, who were each 5 years younger than Shikamaru and Naruto. These ninja would go on to join Shikamaru, Naruto, and the others. However, it'd be Shikamaru and his class who would take that first step, paving the way for the ones behind them. Also that together they can protect the next generation of ninja. Together they would protect the king, the next generation of shinobi, and Konoha citizens. However, in order to do so, Shikamaru had to be the second person in his generation to walk across that bridge into adulthood and fight on the front lines until the members of the back end of his generation, like Konohamaru and Hanabi, were ready and willing to join him. Whereas Sasuke Uchiha left to atone for his sins, Shikamaru was about to commit the greatest sin known to man, cold-blooded murder. But both of these men would do so in the hopes that they would protect the future of their village. So what did you guys think about this? Do you guys agree with me that it's in these moments that ultimately shaped Shikamaru into the person that he ultimately became in the Boruto era? Do you agree with Shikamaru that Naruto despite everything Naruto's been through, wasn't ready to take on this type of a darkness where the intent was to go into another country and kill somebody and not actually talk to them. And I'll close by saying this. I find it really fascinating when you look at this scene and where Shikamaru is in parallel with Sasuke, because when you look at the Shikamaru Shinden novel that's set in the Boruto era, you have Shikamaru and Sasuke, they have this moment where they acknowledge that it's because of their faith in Naruto that they walk the paths that they do, and ultimately it's what led them to their current situation, which was doing things from the shadows to protect Naruto as Hokage. But that's gonna be it for this edition of After Naruto Shippuden. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.